It's been about 2 months, I think, since the podcast last, and a lot has happened. We're easing out of lockdown now, which is so nice. We've been able to go and see some friends and family, and we've just had half term, which has been lovely. Easter holidays, lots of chocolate. I think we're at the last bits of chocolate in the house now, which is great because I want to try and be a bit healthier. So I'm Kit. Most of my family and my friends call me Kit. I'm Catherine, but people call me Kit. This is Periwinkle Stitches. You can find me on Instagram as Winkle Stitches _. So Periwinkle _Stitches on Instagram. On Ravelry, I am Kit Perry. And I do try to keep my Ravelry up to date as much as I can. And also here, obviously. And I do have an Etsy store that I used to add things to quite a bit, but I don't so much these days, and that is Yarn Over Hook. Why I've been away for a little while, I don't think I've mentioned this in the past, but I have rheumatoid arthritis in my hands, mostly my hands, and I get it in my knees and my ankles sometimes, not as often. And although I'm on medication for it, which does manage it really well, occasionally I will get a flare up, and I've had a couple in the last few months. So my knitting does slow down. I try not to, because I think for me, definitely, if I'm moving my joints and they don't feel as stiff, but it depends on the pain really. I wasn't feeling myself, and if I'm not feeling myself, then that's not going to come across in a great way on my podcast. And I want this to be a happy place where I talk about things that I enjoy and love, and I've got quite a few finished objects. I think more finished objects than I have whips, actually, because I haven't started many new projects in this period of time, mainly because I just wanted to finish a few things, take things a bit slower, and because I wasn't knitting as fast, and I was sort of breaking it up in manageable chunks of knitting rather than sort of a long stretch of getting things started up. So I think I'm gonna start with my finished objects and go through those. The first one I'm going to talk about, I don't actually have here with me. It was a Petite Knits pattern, and it's the Seaside sweater, and it's lovely. It has the one that Petite Knit designed was a cream, and it had like a burnt orange stripes through it, but I've seen lots of different versions in lots of different colours, and I then got the idea to make a rainbow one for Isaac for his Easter gift, because my sister doesn't like to give him too much chocolate, so I thought what better alternative than a nice jumper. So I got to work on making him one of those for Easter. So I started it in January and I finished it just before Easter. And if you are on my Instagram, you will have seen that I shared a few pictures of it, the finished item. The yarn I used was Drop Snored for the cream, and I doubled that up because it was actually, it's a double knit pattern. And then as I got down to the coloured stripes, those were little bits of hand-dyed yarns that I had left over, so from various other projects where I'd use those colours, and I doubled them up to kind of create some sort of changes and tonal changes in the stripes and have them gradiate through the rainbow. And there was red, orange, yellow, then I went into a green and a light blue, and then a dark blue, a lilac, a dark purple, and I think that was, oh, and a pink at the very end, and you'll see that in the little video that I share of the jumper. My sister absolutely loved it. I think she's a little bit terrified of putting Isaac in it because he gets stuck in, he likes to get mucky, and they go out quite a lot. They spend a lot of time outdoors adventuring, so I think she's a little bit terrified of putting him in it in case he gets it mucky because it's in cream. Didn't really think about that when I was making it. I just thought, oh, it looks nice in cream, but as I said, just, you know, that's what kids do, they get mucky, so don't worry about it, it will wash out. So that was my first finished object that I wanted to talk about. My next is, I've got them all here to the side. I think the last time I spoke to you, I hadn't quite finished my Lola Socks. They are now completed. I have 2 Lola Socks. I won't put them on the blockers because I think I've shown these to you quite a few times. So just wanted to share that they are now finished and I absolutely love them. I love the pattern and I love the colours that I've used. This one I've mentioned before was called Mutant, or is called Mutant Mermaid, and that's by Woolly Mama Yarns rather, and this one is Zenon, and that's a Coop Knits yarn. Actually matches my hoodie today. Very bright and cheerful, and yeah, just love them. Great pattern. The pattern is So Sweet Violet, and sorry, the pattern isn't So Sweet Violet. The pattern is the Lola Socks by So Sweet Violet, and it's got this lovely sort of like a feathered effect down the front. I'm really pleased to have finished them. I don't know why it took me so long. Sometimes, I don't know if anybody else is like this, I kind of put a project down and then when I pick it up again, start knitting on it, I think, why did I ever stop knitting on these? And then I was really sad that they were finished because I really like using the yarn. But I do have some of that yarn left over, so maybe I'll put it into something else, not sure. So that was my first finished object. My second finished object that I want to share with you is my, I can't remember, were these January? No, February. These were my February Rainbow Sock Chronicles socks. And these are kind of a, I think I showed you, I think in my last podcast I discussed that I was going to knit these, but I don't think I'd actually even started them at that point. That's how long it's been a while. So these are my February Rainbow Sock Chronicles socks, and they are a pattern by the lovely Lauren at Nitty Natty New. This was her first pattern that she'd designed, and I was lucky enough to get to test knit them, so I was really pleased to have been chosen to test knit them because they're lovely, they're really comfy. I mean, I haven't worn them a lot because I'm not wearing my Rainbow Sock Chronicles socks yet, but when I put them on, they are so comfy, really nice, slouchy, comfy sock pattern. They are the Candy Fluff sock pattern, and I think you can find it on Ravelry. I'll put some links below for you to go and find it, but I would definitely recommend it. And this pattern is now live. She released this, I think about a month, if not longer ago. So you can now buy this pattern. It's available to buy. It's not a test knit anymore, and it's absolutely lovely. I love the detail in these little lacy mohair sections. I love the picot edging on here, just really nice. And I used up a lot of my scraps for this one. So yeah, lots of nice colours in there. I think there's some Castle View yarns in there. There's a yarn in there that I received from a friend. That's that one in there. So yeah, really nice, lovely pattern, really enjoyed it. And then I think the next one I need to share then, following on from that, is my March Rainbow Sock Chronicles. So I think I don't think you've even seen this as a whip or a hopeful knit. I think this was knit in between the time where I hadn't podcast and now. So I think this is a new to the podcast one, but these are the colour palette socks, and I can't remember who they're by. I'm pretty sure they're a free pattern, but yes, they're the colour palette socks. I'll put all the details below. My brain's a bit foggy, I don't really remember who they're by, but they're a lovely pattern. These are actually late to the sock party, the rainbow sock party, because I don't know why, I just put them down and I didn't knit on them for a while. I think it's because I got really caught up in my nephew's rainbow jumper that everything else kind of just got left, and these were one of the things that kind of sat awaiting me to pick them back up again. But I'm really glad that I did, and I now have a finished pair of socks. This was for March, and March's colourway was orange and peach, I believe. So yeah, orange and peach tones. So that's what I went for. I used some scraps to complete these with some nice, I have a nice peachy tone, and this one here is a Lay Family Yarns one. So yeah, this the cream rather, is a Drops Nord that I kind of put in there as the contrast and to block between all the colours. Really pleased with them, and looking forward to now getting on to April's socks and catching up with everybody. Yeah, I think the other reason that I was kind of a little bit behind on things through March was that there were 2 birthdays to celebrate, 2 more lockdown birthdays, unfortunately, mine and my son's. We tried to make it as special as we possibly could with him not being able to have any friends over or anything, so he was actually a school day, so we'd gone into school and we set up the kitchen and everything, and when he got home he was really excited to see how we'd set it all up, and I made him a cake. He's a big Super Mario Brothers fan, so I made him a Super Mario birthday cake which he loved, and I'll share some pictures of it for you to see what that looked like. But yeah, we made it as special as we could. We got him a big number 7 helium balloon, and when we picked him up from school we were both there holding the balloon, which he was really excited about. His little face, he was so excited, bless him. So I think we successfully made it as special as we could, with it being a lockdown, a second lockdown birthday. And also I had my birthday in March as well, but that was a little bit more low-key. My husband ordered a nice afternoon tea, which was lovely. It was like afternoon tea in a box. It was really, really special, really, really lovely. So yeah, I enjoyed a few birthdays, and I think that kind of slowed me down a bit because I was spending a bit more time on organising that for Joshua. Let me move on to another finished object. So the fourth finished object is my Peachy Hat. This is a pattern by Daisy Stitches, Deb. She's Daisy Stitches on Instagram, and I think she's Daisy Stitches on Ravelry as well. If that's wrong, I will sort of correct it down below. But yeah, my pom-poms are huge. I think my pom-poms are a bit too big for the hat, to be honest. I think I might reduce the size, but I love it. I like the colours. The yarn that I've used on this is the camel yarns. I can't remember now. I think it's the camel yarn. I won it in a giveaway, and it's called sea glass or sea green. I think it's sea green, and it's absolutely beautiful colour. I don't know whether you can, whether the camera is picking it up as well as I can see it, but it's an absolutely gorgeous colour. The pattern is a lovely lacy pattern. Deb's patterns, if you've not tried them, I would definitely recommend. They're beautiful. She's got a few patterns out now. It's a lovely lacy pattern, and it's the Peachy Hat, Peachy Tea. I think it might be I think it's just Peachy Hat. But yeah, so, and it's got this really large like rib. I'm not going to put it on because I think it will just fluff up my hair, but yeah, and a huge pom-pom, which I think is actually a bit too big for the hat, so I might get a different. Yeah, so another finished object. And my final finished object that I want to share with you is my Litmus Cowl. I did show you this in its whip form, work in progress form, and it is now finished. It's I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm really, really pleased with it, and I've shared a few pictures of this on Instagram as well. So for anybody that follows me on Instagram, you will have already seen this probably. I made this using my Nora George Advent for 2020, which was a secret garden theme. And I'm actually a little bit sad that I finished this project because it's been such a pleasure knitting through all of these gorgeous colours. I'm not going to try and get it to the camera to focus because I don't think it always works. So I'll put some video footage in for you to see all the individual colours. But yeah, they're just so lovely, and it was really nice project to knit on. It's just stockinette round and round and round and round, which is a really nice kind of, it's kind of like an easy, don't have to use much of my brain capacity knit, and just a pleasure. I loved knitting through all the different colours and the names. I think one of them was Golden Key, or the Secret Key, and there was one that was Dickon, so the characters from the Secret Garden, and just, yeah, really love it. I don't know how I managed this, but I've actually, you can probably see, I've got a twist in it. I was going to unpick it all because when you get to the end, you have to do a provisional cast on, which I did, which is down here. And it worked out really well because I think you can just about see that I've sealed the two here, but I think it works really well to make it as seamless as possible. But as I was, and this is so typical me, as I was stitching up in a Kitchener stitch across the finished section here, I'd stitched across one side and then realised that actually it was twisted. You can see here it's twisted. And I'd like to say that was intentional, and I always wanted the twist there, but it wasn't. But actually I think it works out quite well that it's got a twist in it, because when I put it over my neck, it sits really nicely. It sits quite flat, so you can see all the colours, unless you, obviously, until you double it up and have it kind of like that. But I think the twist actually works out to be quite a good thing, and I'm glad I kind of just carried on. I just wasn't in the mood for unpicking Kitchener stitch and starting again, so I just went with it and thought, we'll see. And it actually worked out really well, so I was quite pleased that it's got a bit of a twist in it. Yeah, nice how sometimes things like that turn out for the best rather than not. So yeah, that was my Litmus Cowl, and yeah, you can tell I love it because I can't stop sort of stretching it and looking at it, and yeah, really, really pleased, and just love all the colours. A pleasure to knit on. So pleased that I got Tracy from Nora George's Advent for 2020. Hopefully I'll be able to get another her Advent again this year, but we'll see. And that's all my finished objects, so now I'll move on to my works in progress. So my first work in progress I'm going to show you is actually some crochet from this book, which is PeekAPow. I've knit quite a few things from this book. I love this book. If you are looking to make some amigurumi sort of crocheted animals, I would definitely recommend getting this book. It's one of my favourites, and I have made a few of the animals. I want to make more. They're great for Christmas, birthday presents for small children. I have made the frog and I've made the crocodile, and the unicorn, and I'm in the middle of making another unicorn. Let's see if I can. It's just lovely. I just flicked past the crocodile. Try not to show you the pattern, but there's Raymond. Is it Raymond or Rene? Rene the alligator or the caiman. I'll see if I can show you. I think his name's Victor the frog. There he is, Victor Frog. Just lovely. And I am making my second unicorn, which is Robin the unicorn. And yes, I just love, they're great for birthday presents. The last unicorn I made was for one of Joshua's friends' birthday parties, when we were allowed birthday parties. And yeah, she loved it. So this is, I've only got a head so far. Oh, and a little bit of the body. So I've just started doing the body. I don't know whether you can see, but it's glittery, whether you can see that or not. But the yarn has got like a nice glitter through it. It's almost like a rainbowy, glittery colour to it. And then I think I've also got that in grey to do the unicorn's horn, and I've also got purple. So I'm thinking purple might look nice for her hair. I haven't done an awful lot with her yet. Hoping to work on it a bit more. I do find crochet a little bit harder on my hands, so I can't do loads of it. I tend to sort of dip in and out of it, so if I'm going to do a crochet project, I really need to give myself a lot of time in advance of actually needing it as a gift. So yeah, not much to show you, but she does have her head. Hopefully the next time I podcast, she'll be a bit more put together. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend getting that book. It's yeah, I've made lots of birthday presents from it, and every time I've gifted one, I've loved it. I'd like to actually make a few of them for myself, because with a lot of the things that I make, I like making things for other people, so I don't always have those things for myself, and I'll make them and give them away and think, oh, I should make one for myself. Rene the caiman is one of those. I just love his little party hat. It's really cute. I'll pop some pictures in actually of the ones that I've made in the past so you can see what they look like. But yeah, they're just lovely. Amigurumi is where I started off in crochet, because I was a crocheter before a knitter. And I used to make lots and lots of lovely little amigurumi animals. I used to sell them on my Etsy store, which is Yarn Over Hook. But I haven't done that for a little while. When I first started doing crochet, I hadn't been diagnosed with my rheumatoid arthritis, and the pain wasn't as bad back then. It's sort of only in the last 3 or 4 years that it's progressed a little bit more. But yeah, I used to make a lot of little crocheted animals and put them on my Etsy store, so I might put some of those pictures in for you to have a look at as well. So my only other whip is a new project as well. You wouldn't have seen this. Another petite knit pattern for myself, and this is actually going to be my first piece of garment knitting that is for me. So this is quite brave, and I'm hoping quite brave for me. I'm hoping that I've got the right size and everything, and it's going to fit. But yeah, I haven't done a lot on it. I've done the neckline, which you knit first, and then I picked up stitches, and I've started on the body of it, I love the colour. And I think I've got a lot of tops I could team this with, and I think that's why I preferred the idea of a cardigan. I don't think I've told you what pattern it is. It's the No Frills cardigan by It's the No Frills cardigan by Petite Knits. There we are. And I thought if it was a poncho and it was all one colour across my whole body, then I don't think I would wear it. I don't think I'd be brave enough to wear it. Saying that, I'm wearing a really bright pink, but yeah, poncho, I don't think I would. So I decided to frog it all and turn it into a cardigan, because then I can team it with other things that I already have in my wardrobe that I think would really match with this lovely mustard yellow. The yarn is leader of the pack and is a Hobbycraft yarn. For those of you who don't live in the UK, Hobbycraft is our kind of version of Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I think. A big sort of craft department store. So yeah, and that's where that yarn is from. And it's a really lovely yarn. It's really soft. But unfortunately, I've made it into something, frogged it, made it into something else, frogged it again. It's a third time lucky with this one, I think. And hopefully that will come along. I think it's going to take me a while to get through this one, because if you've seen the Petite, I keep saying Petite. If you've seen the Petite Knits pattern, it's a really long cardigan, which I really like, because I like longer jumpers, I like longer cardigans. I just like them to cover my bottom a little bit, I suppose. So yeah, so I think it's going to take me a long time, especially since I've only really got the neck section completed. So yeah, but really pleased with how it's coming along. I love the petite knit patterns. I think they're really easy to follow, that they're put together, and yeah, just the simplicity of them I think is what makes them so appealing to me. So yeah, that's my Petite Knits whip. I'll just drop my bag, and I've got that sitting in my big Toft bag that I got last year when I went out for coffee with my sister. We went to Toft, and it's just down the road from where I live, and they've got the alpacas there outside, and they've got a lovely little tea shop, and then you've got all the yarn around you as well, which is so nice. It was a lovely day, and I think when we went last year, we went just before everything kicked off. So it was kind of like I've got really fond memories of it, because it was the last normal kind of trip out with my sister Charlotte, who is also a knitter. Yeah, we enjoyed a nice cup of coffee, a cake, and we bought some yarn, and that's what I got my bag for. So, and it's really handy, especially for like big projects like this jumper. That's my whips and my finished objects all done. So now I will move on to things that are like crafty treats, but I haven't been buying an awful lot of crafting or knitting supplies, wool and everything, mainly because I'm just on a bit of a budget at the moment. So my first one that I've got, and this was a purchase, this is Drops Fable, and this is for my April socks, because it's got lots of yellow in it. Yeah, and I just thought it'd be really nice, so I bought 2 balls of that, and I think they were really inexpensive. I think it was something like £2.30 for a 50-gram ball, so I got 2, and I'm going to knit 2 together, or 2 at a time, because I'm just running a little bit behind in the Rainbow Sock Chronicles. So I thought if I knit 2 at a time, then hopefully I'll get through them. And I think I'm just going to make these a vanilla pair of socks. I don't think I'm going to go with a pattern or anything. So yeah, I've never knitted with Drops Fable before, so I have no idea how they knit up or how they wear and that kind of thing. So it's a new for me one, but they had so many lovely colours, really nice sort of stripy colours, and I liked some of the block colours, or yeah, really nice. So see how they knit up. And then another one I received was from my mother-in-law for my birthday, and I think she's trying to tell me something because she got me this bag, like a tote bag, and it says, "Beware, crazy knitting lady." So yeah, I thought that was quite funny. She thinks I'm crazy. But that's really handy for putting all of my yarn in. And so my sister came to visit recently. She's had some yarn that she wanted to give me for quite a while. One of her friends is a knitwear designer, and she has lots of massive, great big spools of yarn, and so she had lots of them left over, and she gave some to my sister, and so my sister brought some and gave them to me to use. She's obviously kept some for herself, and then she's got some for me, and they came, let me see if I can, it's quite heavy, they came as a great big spool of yarn, but I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it though, because this is like a lace weight. I don't know whether it's even, I think it's lace weight, and it's a cotton, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. I have caped some up as well from the spool, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a shawl if I double it up possibly, or if I double it up with mohair I could do something with it. But it's a really lovely green, so we'll see. I think if I doubled it up I could probably make a nice shawl with it, but yeah, I'm not sure. But so she got me the green one, and then she also brought a blue one, which I have, which I think is a 4-ply. Seems like it's 4-ply anyway. It might be slightly less than 4-ply, but I'm not sure. But I've caked those up as well, and that one's a lovely blue with white running through it, and that's also a cotton. So I don't know whether I might make some baby knits with it, or maybe a baby blanket, a bit of gift knitting to kind of put away for when friends and family have babies. I'm not sure, but yeah, so I've got loads of those as well. I think when I caked it up I had about 6 or 7 of these, so definitely enough to make lots of little baby garments, or maybe something with me. I haven't decided, but yeah, I wanted to share that because that was a really nice gift from my sister. My next ones are the Nora George Wildflower Blanket Club. So if you haven't received or seen March or April's, then you might want to switch off now or skip to the end, because I'm going to share those now. So spoiler alert. I am absolutely in love with this this yarn club. It's Nora George. So every month I receive I've opted, weather it is strange at the moment, it's really windy out there, and I think it might be snowing again. Weird weather. So yeah, every month I receive I opted for the 50 grams and then the 10 gram minis, and in a sock weight. And so I will show you March first. But March that's the main colour scheme. It's lovely. It's like a peachy yellow sort of colour, and that's cow slip. It's really lovely. So that's for March, was the main colours of the skein. And then the minis were these. Now I'm not sure what the minis were again. I did have the cards somewhere, but I'm not sure what I've done with them. But you can just see there's a really lovely blue and like a purple, kind of, that's blue with purple in it, and that's lilacs and greens, light blues and dark blues. I really loved it. I think that one was Cherry Blossom. I remember that one, and that one as well was really pretty. So that was March, but really enjoying those. I haven't decided on a blanket that I want to make yet. I'm being really indecisive. I was going to go for the habitation throw, but because it's got a finishing point, I think it would only use 24 of the colours, and I'd really like something that uses every single one of the colours. So I'm thinking I may do the log cabin blanket with them instead, which I have seen a lot of people making blankets up for Harry Potter Blanket Club, which is also by Nora George. So I think that's where I'm edging towards, and I think that would look really nice with the full set of colours all together in blocks. So yeah, that might be what I opt for. And then my main skeins, I'm not really sure. I might use them in socks, or I might put them all together in a jumper with some mohair. I'm not sure. I haven't fully committed myself to them. At the moment I'm just really enjoying looking at them all together, and I don't want to use them. But yeah, I will eventually use them, because otherwise what's the point? So this one was called Finger Cups, and this was April's main colourway, and it's really pretty. It's kind of like it's a peachy pink, I would say. That's what I would call it, a peachy pink. And then these ones, which again I don't have the colour card for, so I'm not sure what all the colours are, but you can see that they are just so pretty. Oh, but yeah, so those are all the, I think that one's called Pear. I think one of them is a hyacinth, possibly. Can't be sure, but they are just lovely, and they've got lots of lovely speckles in them. So yeah, really pleased with the Young Club. And one of the things I really love about this club is that the main skeins are a fade. Let me see if I can get them all. So they're a fade, which is why I was thinking that a jumper might be nice, because it might be nice to have like a faded jumper. I was thinking maybe the Whitmore sweater, or maybe the Whitmore cardigan. So let me see if I can get these in order and show you the fade. So that's the fade so far, which you can see is just lovely. Really pleased. You can see there that it fades really nicely through the kind of green. Oh, those ones are the wrong way around, so that was that. It fades really nicely through the different colours, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the others as well. I think the next one's probably going to be a darker pink. So yeah, I recommend them. Really lovely colours. Put those back up there. Okay, and that's everything. Yeah, whips, finished objects, and my sort of crafty treats as well. Hopefully I won't leave it as long to podcast for next time. I wanted to say thank you to Stitches and Jax for mentioning me in her podcast a few podcasts ago. She's great. She podcasts regularly, and a few podcasts ago she mentioned me, and so I'd like to say thank you, because I did get a few new subscribers as a result of that. So thanks, Karen at Stitches and Jax, for that mention. And I love, one of the things I really love about Karen's podcast is that at the end she always shares some podcasts that she's been watching, and that's where she mentioned me. She makes some really lovely things from her beautiful home. She's made a lovely Whitmore sweater that I really like the look of, and actually I saw hers and I thought I'd really like to make one for myself. So yeah, do go and have a look at Stitches and Jacks. A few other podcasts that I follow and really enjoy. Some of them are quite well known. I'm sure a lot of you already follow them, but I love Potter and Bloom. Rosie's Knitting Shed, I really enjoy watching her podcasts. And Rosie also creates a hand-dyed yarn. So yeah, really lovely podcasts I wanted to share. And I may, if Karen from Stitches and Jacks allows me to, I may adopt her segment here as well, and just each time I podcast share a podcast that I follow, so that we can, I think she calls it sharing the love, which is really nice. So yeah, sharing one another's podcasts. I always find it really nice to see what everybody is making and draw inspiration from that. So yeah, I thought I'd share that here. Non-podcast wise, I have been rewatching Lost. I just loved it the first time round, and we're watching it for the second time, and it's amazing little things that you spot that you didn't spot the first time. So I'm watching that with my husband. So started rewatching The Tudors as well. I really enjoy it, and so yeah, I've started, and I think it's available for free on Prime. I'd love to know what you've been watching or reading, or what podcasts you enjoy. Please do comment below and let me know what those are. Now that's all there is to say now. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed.